Well, hi there, my friends. Welcome to our show. My name is Ralph Emery. I interview the stars, and we've got a biggie for you this week, the old Golden Throat, the man who is often referred to as, I'm trying to...
The fastest country singer in the business.
What?
The fastest country singer in the business.
Mr. Marty Robbins. Marty, welcome to our show.
Hey, it's nice to be here, Ralph.
Fastest country music singer?
Well, yeah, only because I drive race cars now and then.
Oh, I thought maybe you sung your songs fast.
Oh, no, that's Hank Snow. Well, you got us mixed up.
All right.
Oh, I wish I had somebody get rid of that bug that's across the table from me.
Well, we'll snuff it out here in the middle. I hope you're doing well, Mr. Robbins.
I really am. I'm having a wonderful time.
I get so many requests to have you on the show. People often write in and they say, they tell me who they want to have on the show, and they include old Golden Throat here.
Well, I'll tell you, Ralph, now I have to admit, old Golden Throat writes quite a lot of those cards.
Oh,
himself.
do you really?
Yes. Because they see I enjoy being here.
I see. Marty, do you go to the movies? You like movies?
No, I have cable television.
At your house?
Yeah, I
Well,
do.
how about when you're on the road?
No, when I'm on the road, we're working, Ralph.
Well, I mean, there are times when you're not working.
Well,
How about when the show is 8 o'clock that night and you got all day to kill?
well, if it's in the summertime, I'm laying around a swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's in the wintertime, I'm laying around the bed. You see, I'm real active.
You still are very nocturnal, aren't you? Like to stay up all night and sleep all day, or sleep most of the day.
Well, I don't sleep really a lot. I believe that 4 hours would be just about the most that I get at any one
Are
time.
you still living that way?
Yeah, I'll lay down and go to sleep at 11 o'clock and get up at 3 o'clock and go play the piano a little bit and wake up the neighbors, and when I find out the neighbors are awake, then I'll go back to sleep.
Do your neighbors complain about your playing the piano?
Well, no, but really, I just get. I don't think they can hear me. I don't play that loud, but I just enjoy sitting there playing the piano, thinking maybe that I might come up with an idea for a song.
In the middle of the night?
Oh, I've done it many times.
I know you used to go to bed around 5 in the morning, and you'd sleep to 5 or 10, and you were done.
Yeah, no, many times. And like now, on the bus, like we get through the show date, I always hope that the next show date is about 500 miles away at least. See, that gives us time to play poker, and gives us time to we'll get there just as the maids have the rooms clean. We go right in, and I'll sleep, say, till, well, now in the summertime, I'll sleep, say, from 8 until 12, and get up, go out to the pool, swim, lay around in the sun, just kind of look at things, And there's a lot of things to look at in the summertime around swimming pools.
Yes. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, no, but...
Marty, you have written many songs which I've assumed you wrote for your wife. You Gave Me a Mountain being one of them. My Woman, My Wife.
Well, you get inspired to write about certain people, certain things. And I guess I'm not a, what you call a professional writer, although I've written a lot of songs. I imagine around 500. But I like to write. I think if there's such a thing as being an inspirational writer, that's what I am, because I have to be inspired to write about something, and then, it comes very easy. It takes no time. But if I have to sit and work on a song, I don't do that, because no one's going to record it anyway. Well, let's face it, no one records my songs. I have to do them myself.
Well, do you go out and pitch them to other people?
No, but I don't see anybody coming by the office saying, "Have you got any hits?"
Do you remember the first time you ever laid eyes on Arizona?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where were you?
In Glendale, Arizona.
What were you doing?
Looking at her.
Well, I know. What were you doing until she came into view?
See, during the summer, she was in high school, and I'm 5 years older than she is. You see, but she looked more like she was 17 or 18 years old, see. And...
How old were you?
I was 20. And I said to myself, well, I checked my pockets, see if I had enough for ice cream, because she was working at a soda fountain during the summer months in between school. And I went into her and ordered whatever it was, and I asked her what her name was, and she said Mirazona. Well, I had never, it's kind of a funny name, but I thought she misunderstood me, and I thought she had thought that I'd asked, where are you from? And she had answered, Arizona. So I let it go for a little while. So pretty soon I said, what's your name? She says, from Arizona. I said, I'm from Texas, ma'am. So, and finally I found that that was her name, Arizona. She's named after the county and the state.
What, Maricopa County?
Yes.
And the state of Arizona.
That's right.
Maricopa County is, what, around Phoenix?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How long did you go with her before you got married?
I think at least 2.5 years.
She like you right off?
Hey, Ralph, you know she did.
You know what? You amaze me. I've known you quite a while, and you don't ever seem to change. Well, once in a while, you've added a mustache in recent years, but hairstyle never seems to change too much.
Can't afford to change the hairstyle. It's getting too thin. I got one hair, Ralph. It's 107 feet long. I twirl and twirl and twirl. I use a lot of hairspray and a mirror and a little pick. Get it fixed just right, leave it that way.
You still use lemon, what was it, lemon
go lightly? No, I got another formula now. Made it myself.
Oh, what's it called?
Well, I can't tell you, but if I ever put it on the market, it's going to be a success. I make it out of lemon juice.
Marty Robbins' secret recipe.
Yes, sir.
For lightening the hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you've been doing something to lighten your hair here.
Well, I've been out in the sun. Oh, the sun helps it an awful lot, too.
You lie out in the sun a lot?
Oh, yes, every chance. I started to today, but I knew I had to go out to Brentwood and then back here, and so I thought, well, I wouldn't have a chance to take a bath, and after being in the sun and getting, perspiring just a little bit, I didn't know if Ralph could handle it or not, and I thought maybe, well, the deodorant might break down, and I just... I wouldn't want to put you through it, Ralph.
I want to tell you, I really appreciate it, too. I, too, took a bath right before this show, and I want you people to know you're listening to two of the cleanest hillbillies you ever heard.
That's right. We got it down. We're on tonight. Hey, let me say something in case I've offended anybody today. I only have a good time on these shows like this, Ralph, so I hope that I haven't said anything that's offended anybody or made anybody think that I'm a smart aleck.
Anybody but me.
I just had I kind of figured that, but I can handle that.
My guest is Marty Robbins. Marty, who was, or whatever, who is the devil woman?
I shan't disclose that.
Oh, that's one of your secrets?
Yes, that's one of my secrets. I was inspired to write that. No, I have no idea. I just came up with a falsetto, and I thought, hey, it's a pretty good falsetto. Maybe I better put a song.
Tell people what a falsetto is.
Well, a falsetto is when you don't sing in a natural voice. Like the people in the Hawaiian Islands use falsettos. They sing, like they have more range because they use falsettos. But some people opera singers, have quite a range, but they do not use falsettos. They just have power.
What are you, faking a high note?
Yeah, you're kind of cheating a little bit. You don't use the power. You don't have the power.
Well, you've got a pretty good range.
Well, yeah, but it's in falsetto.
That was a good song for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Number one?
Number one, and it also went up into the pop charts.
Really?
In the pop charts. Oh, yes. I had a long string of hits, Ralph. Went in the pop charts back in from 59 to about 62 and a half. Everything I cut went into the pop charts, plus the country charts.
What were some of the songs of that time?
Well, first there was El Paso, then there was Big Iron, and then there was songs like Don't Worry, Ruby Ann, Devil Woman. That's
a pretty good example. Marty, I wanted to go back for a moment and talk about little Marty Robbins, if I may. You in an earlier program, you talked about how poor you were, and you lived on the desert down in Arizona. And
jackrabbits did not stand a chance.
Oh?
Oh, we killed them and ate them.
Was that standard fare for your table?
Absolutely.
Are they as big as I hear they are in the Arizona desert?
Well, if they were to stand up, on the hind legs and look, and their ears would probably measure close to 30 inches up from the ground, you see. But that was, that was food.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of tough. You have to soak them in salt water for 3 or 4 days and then boil them. You couldn't fry them. You'd have to boil them.
Were they stringy?
No, it was good. I always liked it. It doesn't take much to satisfy me in the way of food. I can eat about anything, and I remember I used to even the little cottontails out there in the desert are smaller than the cottontails here, see, and they're very tasty. And I remember when I was a little kid how I used to eat the sagebrush. Is say like a foot high. Well, I used to catch cottontails, run them down because you see they couldn't jump the bushes, and I could jump them. I could reach down and grab them. And I was very fast at one time, too, because at one time I used to herd goats when I was 11 years old. And that was up in the Bradshaw Mountains in Arizona. And I used to herd about 300 head with my brother. And I could climb mountains and run as fast as any goat. And also we used to have to catch jackrabbits to eat. Well, I'd run alongside a jackrabbit, reach out and grab him and feel him. If he's fat enough, we'd keep him. If he didn't, I'd let him go,
That's incredible.
I beg your pardon.
That's really incredible.
Isn't it the name of a program?
Yes, it is. Well, I assume there was a point where you were able to leave this poverty. Was that when you went into the Navy?
No, my mother and father were divorced when I was 12, and we moved into the city of Glendale, Arizona, and lived in a little two-room shack down with the railroad tracks that was owned by my uncle. And it was still poverty. And it was poverty until I got into the music business later on in life.
You used to, as I recall, you sang under his false name so that...
One time I sang under the name of Jack Robinson.
So your mother wouldn't know about it?
Yes, because, you see, my mother's, my brothers, and all my relatives, singing was not a job for a man, That's for a woman, They thought that you've got to do a hard day's work in order to be worth your salt, you see. Well, I had different ideas. And if I had salt in my body, I was keeping it. I wasn't going to sweat it out, you see. And so I was driving a brick truck back and forth from Phoenix to Glendale, Arizona, the last job I had. And in 8 months, or 6 months, I had 8 different jobs. And this last job that I had was driving this brick truck. It lasted 30 days, and only because the guy that hired me was a good friend, and I went to school with his daughter and his son, and we were friends, and he hired me, and he didn't want to fire me, even though I wasn't worth it, and I didn't want to quit, because he hired me.
Why weren't you worth it?
Well, man, I didn't want to work.
Did you loaf?
Oh, well, I didn't loaf it. The job was hard. I was loading this truck. It was a 2-ton truck by hand. I'd throw about 20 blocks up there, and then I'd jump up on that truck and stack them, and I'd jump down and throw 20 more up, and that went on, and for 30 days, I said, I just don't think this is for me, and I said, there's got to be another way to make a living.
Is that when you decided you'd be a singer?
Well, I heard this guy singing on the radio one time when I stopped at this little roadside market, and the next day I stopped at the same roadside market. He was singing again on the radio, and I said, well, now this guy's making a living doing it. He's not doing it for nothing. I don't care if he's making $20 a week. I can get by on $20 a week as long as I can come in when I want to and get up when I want to. So I went to this radio station and told them that I'd like to be a cowboy singer. And they said, well, we have a cowboy singer. And I said, yeah. And that's when I was young, and I had a lot of vinegar in my veins. Plus, he said, we have a cowboy singer. I said, yeah, he's not very good either. And the guy says, well, can you do better? I said, yes, sir, I think I can. He said, well, sing a song. So I did Strawberry Roan. So he hired me and fired the other guy.
Marty Robbins was telling us earlier about singing on the radio, I guess in Phoenix?
Yes.
And as I recall the story of your life, that's where Jimmy Dickens discovered you.
Jimmy, I had a television show. I didn't want it, but I had to take it in order to have the radio show.
Oh, you mean that went with the package?
Well, they made me do it. You see, it was just me and the guitar. And, I was nervous.
You mean
anyway.
when you got the job at the radio station?
Well, no. At first, I had the job at the radio station. One afternoon, they had nothing to play for 15 minutes, absolutely nothing to put on the television. So the general manager asked me if I wanted to do television. I said, no, sir, because it made me nervous. Just almost sick at my stomach. I would get so nervous. And he asked me a couple of times, and I said, no, sir, I really don't want to do it. I don't think I can. He says, well, he said, do you like your radio job? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, if you want to keep your radio job, you do 15 minutes of television. So, well, I got to thinking about the days on the brick truck and the other jobs I had, and I said, well, I'll just have to try it. So I wrote myself out 4 or 5 songs and put them on my shirt pocket, a little cowboy shirt, you know, and went on television. And I couldn't remember the songs I was going to sing, so I'd have to take that little piece of paper out of my pocket and say, for my next song, I would like to sing, and I would do it, see. Well, I think the people really felt sorry for me, you know, because they could see, I'm sure, that I was nervous, and you know. So they wrote so many cards and letters in that they made me take a television show then, once a week, and I didn't want it. And I'd feel all right. Just as soon as the show was over, I'd be all right. But then a couple days later, I started getting sick because I'd be nervous. You know?
Jimmy Dickens a special guest?
Yes, Jimmy came through town with the Grand Ole Opry show, and he came up on my show to plug the Grand Ole Opry show. And it was really a thrill when Jimmy Dickens stayed and listened. He's quite a man. You know, he didn't just get on and get off. He stayed and listened to me sing, and he told me that he thought I was good. And he said, I'm going to speak to the people in Los Angeles when I see them. And, of course, naturally, that made me feel real good. And he did. And just a little while later, Art Satherley came over from California and signed me up. So
just on the recommendation of Jimmy Dickens?
Jimmy Dickens is the reason I'm here today, friends, so blame him, don't blame me.
Well, Super legend. Marty Robbins is my guest.
Yeah.
Marty, who writes my ad-libs for this show.
I think that sounds great.
Super legend.
Super legend, yes. No one has used that. Everybody's a superstar, but they haven't used, or a legend, but they haven't used super legend. So I think I fit that category. So we'll use super legend.
This is one of your heroes, isn't it?
Eddie Arnold. I like Eddie Arnold singing. In fact, Eddie Arnold is what caused me to like really country and Western music back when he was singing more of the country and Western songs. I liked Eddie Arnold. I really loved him. In fact, what really got me on to country music was a song that Eddie Arnold recorded called Many Tears Ago. Mm-hmm. And that's back in the days when I was wild, young, and full of vinegar. And one night I was out drinking by myself, and I this girl I was supposed to be with had turned me down. So there's only 2 people in this bar, and it's me and the bartender and the jukebox. And I played over and over and over and over again, Many Tears Ago by Eddie Arnold.
Did it help?
Yeah, I passed out somewhere, you know, but I remember waking up in my car. The bartender was nice enough to take me out and put me in the car and set me on. That probably isn't anything to be talking about since, you know, I don't drink anymore, but I only drank for 3 years of my life.
Give me a Marty Robbins comment about Dolly Parton.
Here comes Santa Claus. No. Dolly Parton, the all-American girl. That's what Dolly Parton is to me. Natural beauty, natural talent.
Think she's a good singer?
Yeah, I think she's a great writer.
She is a good writer.
And she just might turn out to be a great actress. I haven't seen it, but I heard that she's going to be... The right part would be great. You know, I don't produce movies and I don't know much about it, but she is in show business. So if the right part would come along, she would become so big.
You recall the first time you met Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
Where were you? Opry?
No. We played a show together up in St. Paul, Minnesota, out in the ballpark. I think it was a ballpark, and I think it was St. Paul, but I was looking at Dolly and I couldn't remember just where it was. I just knew there was somebody out there. And she went on before I don't remember really who all was on the show, but she was there.
She knocked you out that first time?
Yeah, because she has such a pretty face, you know. She really is a natural, beautiful woman, and I think that's great, you know. A lot of people from the South are natural, beautiful people, you know. Their features are. And out west it's a little different. They use a lot of makeup.
Why would they use more makeup out west than they do in the South?
I think because they figure Hollywood can discover them easier.
Oh, you're talking about way out west in California.
Yes. But your people who live in the smaller cities You know, hey, when I first moved to to Nashville, I remember how we used to work at, we'd go up to WSM about the time all the girls got off, and we'd stand on the street corners and watch all the pretty girls go by.
That's the only reason you went by?
Well, I wasn't working there. I mean, I work in the morning, see? But everybody did it. But just something. Nothing was said. We just looked, and I really was amazed at how many beautiful girls worked at National Life. And I used to get a big kick out of that. I used to watch an officer up there who was directing traffic. He'd get all fouled up sometimes. He'd have traffic going 4 ways at once, see, because he was looking too.
My guest is Marty Robbins, and who has done everything.
Well, almost, Ralph.
Been in movies, television star, movie star, record star. And you ever been in a play?
No, only one.
Even as a kid?
In school. Oh, yes, yeah, in school plays.
Racing driver, and recently raced at Daytona Beach against Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip and all those guys.
It's fun to race against them. I don't expect to win, but it's fun to race against them.
You ever get scared?
No, I don't get scared, but I sometimes things might excite me just a little bit more than like if I'm driving, everything's real clear and cool, and no problems on the track. Then all of a sudden, something happens up in front, maybe 100 yards, like somebody blows a tire or goes into a skid or blows an engine. That'll make me get a tighter hold on the seat and the steering wheel, because if you get into the oil, at Talladega, well, on any track as far as it goes, it's pretty hard to keep a car under control, and usually when you do, it's just by reflex.
How'd you do at Daytona Beach this year?
Well, I didn't get to qualify my car. I drove a car that was owned by Frank Warren, but I didn't finish well. I only finished 30th. But they took 40 cars, see. But of course, there was about 60 cars there.
Did you make any money? Did you get a prize for finishing 30th?
Well, he got something. I didn't take it. I don't take.
I mean, how far? What I'm asking here is, how far down do the money prizes
go?
All
the way back to 40th.
So 40 drivers will make a little money.
Yeah.
What will the guys near the end make? Will they make a few $100s?
I don't really know, Ralph, because I've never chased it out. I just wait and see.
Do you ever take the money?
Well, if it's my car, but if I drive somebody else's car, I don't.
What's the best finish you've ever had?
I finished 5th one time in Michigan.
At the Michigan International Speedway?
Yeah, and I finished 7th at Darlington, 9th at Darlington, 8th at Daytona, 9th at Talladega, 15th at Talladega. Those are the best finishes that I've had.
Marty, a lot of people thought you would never race again after you had open heart surgery. Does that scare your doctor when you do that?
No, because he knows I'm in good shape. See, I had to pass a real stiff physical in order to race. So if I can pass that physical that they give me, there's nothing.
Who gives you the physical? NASCAR?
Yeah.
They're their own doctors then that,
yes.
that check you out.
And I would have to be really fit to drive, or they would never let me on the track.
Do you lose weight when you're driving in the course of a race?
Oh, well, I'm kind of skinny anyway, so if I lose weight, it wouldn't be more than 3 pounds.
Oh.
Some of them, I know one guy used to lose about 20 pounds a race.
Who's
on
that,
a hot
Buck
day.
Baker?
John Sears. And he was a big guy. He was about 6'4", weighed about 275 pounds. It's hot on them big old fat uns.
I imagine it's pretty hot in that race car.
Yes, I guess it gets to be about 130 or 140 degrees in the race car. I don't really know. I don't check it out. I don't have a thermometer in it. My shows are request shows, and people yell for songs from the audience, which makes it real nice.
You mean you always respond to their requests?
Yes. If I know the song, in Illinois the other night, someone yelled for it's just a little kid, Mr. Shorty. Kid's probably 10 years old. Mr. Shorty, he wanted to hear. Well, I haven't done Mr. Shorty in probably a year, and it's over 5 minutes long, you see. Well, the band doesn't play it, and I have to do it by myself, so I made an 8-minute song out of a 5-minute song by just by trying to remember the lines. But I got through with it, and the people got a kick out of it, because I think it's
What if they request a song that was somebody else's, a Merle Haggard hit or something like that?
Oh,
and would you try to sing it?
If I knew it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Were you ever in business with Brenda Lee?
I believe Brenda and I, and Eddie Arnold, Charlie Mosley, put in the Iroquois subdivision out in Brentwood.
And all of you invested in that.
Well, at least Brenda and I did.
What does that mean?
No, I just kidding you.
Eddie Arnold put a little money in that, didn't he?
He's got plenty to put in, but it was I think it was a four partners. I still do business with Eddie. We have.
Are you a business partner of Eddie Arnold's?
Yeah, we have. There's 8 of us have 600 acres on the interstate on I-65, just south of the Franklin. Well, it's Goose Creek.
Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, I know where that is. Just south of Nashville.
I've done quite a lot of business with Eddie because I figure anytime that Eddie Arnold does business, it's a pretty good venture because he's a pretty smart man.
Yeah, he is. He is. I hope y'all have enough to get by on between the two.
Well, Ralph, all I'm hoping for
you pay the grocery bill each week.
All I'm hoping for is I have a large garden every year, and I freeze things just in case things do go bad.
Canning a few things, are you?
Well, I don't can them. I freeze them, and I'm just hoping that things don't go bad because it's gonna be a little while before I can draw old age pension.
Mr. Robbins?
Yes, sir.
Give me a description of Marty Robbins.
Dashing, very talented, pleasing.
You have an
personality.
Ego?
Oh no.
No ego?
Oh no.
Okay. Got temper?
A temper.
Yes.
Yes.
You do have.
Everybody has a temper, Ralph.
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about Marty Robbins.
Sure I do.
Okay.
But I'm too little to do anything about it, so I keep it to myself.
Got a sense of humor?
Oh yes, I laugh about anything. You smoking that cigar is funny to me.
You like people?
Love people. I mean, I couldn't do without them. I mean, I don't have to do the road shows, but I still do 125, 235 a year because I like to be with people. I mean, that's.
You get your feelings. You get your feelings hurt easily?
I don't think so.
Got a tough hide then.
No, it's just that I understand life a lot more than people probably realize I do, just because I'm silly all the time, you see. And people will say things, that ordinarily would hurt someone's feelings, but it doesn't hurt mine because I really don't believe that they're saying it in order, to hurt my feelings. They're just saying something, and
just to say.
Yeah.
Just to say hello.
Just to say something, they say it, and they say the wrong thing, but it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Fans do that sometimes. They come up and say,
"Oh yes,"
say something they didn't really mean to say to you.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Oh, let me see. I don't like the last song you did.
But they're just trying to get your attention, aren't they?
Well, it's pretty loud when they say it, see? And all I can say is, "Oh, I don't either," because they don't really know, that it could hurt somebody's feelings.
That could be a kidding remark.
No.
Huh?
No, I can tell. I know people.
You mean they're serious?
Yes, I know people real well. This is Marty Robbins, friends, and seriously speaking, it has really been a pleasure to be on the Ralph Emery Show this week.
Mr. Teardrop, old Golden Throat, super legend of country music. It's been my pleasure.
You know how to talk to a man, Ralph, even though you are a man.
Tell all these folks goodbye.
Goodbye, folks.